How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Flicking Things. My name is Daniel, back with another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing Jurassic World Dominion. So I would say about a couple weeks ago, I wasn't really excited for this movie at all, or hyped, or anything like that. I even forgot that was actually opening up pretty soon. But yeah, like I wasn't really excited because after seeing Fallen Kingdom, and seeing how that turned out, I was just my enthusiasm for Jurassic Park and just the whole series in general kind of like started to die down. So a week prior to Dominion's release, I actually jumped back into the series and started watching all the older ones and Fallen Kingdom, just in case I forgot a few things, and just in case they do tie the story from the last movie into this one. I wanted to be caught up and remember everything. And I don't know, it did get my excitement back up, and I was getting pretty hyped up because seeing Dr. Grant and Ian Malcolm, and then also Ali Sattler coming back into the fold, it started to, I started to get hyped. I was like, all right, cool, man. They're going to be back together. I would love to see them. This is actually the first time they all been together since the first movie, because I know Ian Malcolm was in the second movie, The Lost World. But it was just him and an entire new cast. And then the third one, it was just Dr. Grant. I mean, Ali Sattler's in the movie, but I would say it's more like a cameo. But this is like actually where they're actually gonna be together, have like a substantial role in the movies. So yeah, like I said, I was pretty excited and everything. But then I saw the movie. So like I said, I wasn't a big fan of Fallen Kingdom, and when I went back to it, and because I only saw it once in theaters when it first came out, and then I saw it recently to refresh my memory. Yeah, I still don't like it till this day, and it just, I don't know, it just felt like the whole script was written by a studio executive that didn't understand the lore, I guess you would say, of Jurassic Park. And I don't know what they did, but it felt like they even got an even worse studio executive, and he came up with even more bad ideas. Now, before I get into my dislikes, I do want to talk about the synopsis real quick. So basically what happens is the way Fallen Kingdom ended is the dinosaurs pretty much got loose, and they live among the humans, that's actually one thing that I was really intrigued, even though I didn't like the movie Fallen Kingdom. I was really intrigued to see what they were going to do with that, because that's a whole new thing, because that's never happened in the previous movies. The dinosaurs usually been isolated on an island, and when they do get transported into the city, they wreak havoc, but they do capture them and all that stuff. But this time it's a whole new ball game. Like, they're actually back into the fray, as far as, being here on Earth and in the States, I guess you would say, and living amongst people. So that was something that was actually pretty interesting. And with this story, they actually don't expand upon that, which kind of like was annoying. Here's a perfect opportunity to expand on that idea, and they don't. Instead, they expand on Benjamin Lockwood's daughter, Macy. As we find out in Fallen Kingdom, she's actually a clone. They expand on that story in this movie. I mean, it's a cool concept. I mean, I don't mind them exploring that, but that I feel like should be a subplot. But instead, that's actually the main plot. The dinosaurs are actually kind of the subplot. Now, I don't know what they were thinking. Like, I don't know who thought this was a good idea. I mean, this is the first Jurassic Park movie where the dinosaurs are not the center focus of the story. And us as viewers, I mean, we come to see Jurassic Park because of the dinosaurs. We want them to wreak havoc. Like I said, they had a good concept or a good idea at the end of Fallen Kingdom. As much as I didn't like that movie, they had a good idea with the dinosaurs living amongst the humans, and they just didn't do that in this movie. It was like that's the perfect thing to like explore. And I don't know, it just made me mad. And I'm like, okay, like I said, the Macy, dynamic, that story, that's cool. That should be a subplot. That should not be the main focus of the movie. And they made it the main focus of the movie. And the movie does suffer from that, because like, I just feel like there's no high stakes or anything like that. There is one good scene that I really, really enjoyed. They're in this like underground, black market. Chris Pratt's character and Bryce Dallas Howard's character, they're in this whole marketplace thing, and then basically one thing leads to another. The dinosaurs get loose, and then these raptors are released, and there's this whole motorcycle chase. I don't want to get into too much spoilers, but there's a scene that involves raptors, like a chase scene, and I thought it was awesome because you have a lot of things that were going on There was a lot of chaos, and I was like, this is awesome. I'm like, dude, if this movie goes in this type of direction, I'm all for it. You know, like I'm loving this. I'm count me in. But unfortunately, that's like the only scene that really, you know, caught my attention. The rest of it was just like boring. There are way too many characters. You have the old characters like, you know, Dr. Grant, Malcolm, and Allie. You have that story. You also have Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard's character. You know, you have that, and then you have they added a bunch of new characters. The main villain is very cheesy and very like cringe. They try to add like a little awkward comedic thing with him, and it was just weird. It was just, and I don't know. And he was basically a Tim Cook clone, and they made him just like yeah, exactly. He looks exactly like Tim Cook from Apple. It was just weird. It was very unoriginal. It was just like I just didn't like it at all. And at one point there was like 4 storylines going all at once. All these characters were separated. And I just felt like, even though like this movie is like, it's pretty long, it's 2 hours and 20 something minutes. A lot of these scenes, when they were all separated, a lot of these scenes felt like it was rushed, because it was like, all right, we have to show this real quick. We have to show this person in this situation, and then we have to cut to this person and show them in this situation. And it didn't happen organically. It was just like a set of scenes, and it didn't happen, like I said, organically, where it was a smooth transition. It was like, all right, we're going to show this action scene, move on to the next action piece. And like, I don't know, I just felt like there was real no high stakes, because a lot of these encounters with these dinosaurs that they had were like isolated moments with our stars. So like, I was like, okay, this is going to happen. It's going to be a close call, and they're going to get free and, escape. And that's not how all the old Jurassic Park movies are. They're very big in scale. You have a lot of groups, and, all these groups are getting picked off one by these dinosaurs, where it was just isolated moments. And I don't know, there was real no high stakes, even though there's a lot of dinosaurs in the movie, because there is, especially in the second half. I would say literally every other scene was a dinosaur encounter. But like I said, there was real no high stakes, because, it's just one particular character in this situation, and they're going to get free, they're going to survive. So it was just too much, where I'm like, all right, they're going to survive, move on to the next scene. All right. And like I said, I really don't want to get into spoilers, but towards the end, the story does come together, and I would say that's the best part of the movie, aside from the raptor chase scene. This is probably the best part of the movie, where it wraps up. But I just felt like if they could have done that a lot earlier, it really could have been, a tight story, and they really could have done something special, despite all the other many flaws, like as far as, like I said, the actual story itself. But they still could have managed to steer it in the right direction, but they just don't, because by the time they get to that point, I'm already out. Like, I'm already timed out. I'm already like out of the movie. I'm tapped out. So like at that point, I was just like, okay, this is cool, but this is interesting, but it's already too late. I'm already looking at my watch. I'm like, okay, when is this movie gonna end? So yeah, like I said, I really didn't enjoy this movie that much. I mean, yes, there are like lots of dinosaurs in the second half. They're not earned. Like they don't, like, it just doesn't feel like organic. It's just like, all right, they pop up, boom, next scene, pop up, another dinosaur pops up, and and so on and so forth. As much as like Fallen Kingdom gets a lot of flack for, honestly, it does have a lot of horror moments, and like, especially with the Indoraptor at the end, I actually think that's really good. That was really tense, because there's a lot of things going on. This raptor's loose, and they're after our heroes and all that stuff. But the way they did it, that our characters were going to survive. The way they did it was very horror-like and very suspenseful. Whereas this, like I said, it just felt cheap. You know what I mean? Like, all right, like I said, the dinosaur, like a dinosaur pops up, whatever. But like, I'll give Fallen Kingdom that. At least in the end, it's very creative. Like the way they treated the Indoraptor, and how like they presented him like as like a, stealth type of predator and all that stuff. Whereas this, like, everything was just uninspired, and just, yeah, it just didn't work for me. And I can honestly say that Fallen Kingdom actually is better than this movie. I've seen a few people say this one's better, but I actually think Fallen Kingdom is better. It's actually a more straightforward story than this. Like, this is just all over the place, convoluted. It's just a mess. So I know I'm giving this movie a lot of hate, but I do feel like if you liked Fallen Kingdom, you're probably gonna like this one. If you were like kind of iffy like me, and really didn't like Fallen Kingdom that much, you're probably gonna hate this movie. That's the best way I can like describe this movie and like if it's for you or not. So I'm gonna give this movie a rating. I'm gonna give it 2 out of 5 Velociraptors. Like I said, I really didn't like this movie too much. I would say there's 2 scenes where I really thought were pretty cool, but that was about it. If you guys saw this movie, let me know, and let me know what you guys think. I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the movie, because I feel like it's pretty split, because I've seen a lot of people who said they really enjoy it, and I've seen a lot of people who say they hate it. If you guys like this video, please click like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.